People love him already. He's got the Rhode Island twang.
The long pass to Moore and a pin block from Martin.
Tune in to Cam's Corner.
He's going to make it here.
Draws the foul for another Rhode Island and one.
Podcast. Got
his own podcast.
It's good off the backboard and in. On a break.
Hey, we are back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Cam's Corner, Season 3, Episode 21, Episode 89 overall. Still on that road to 100 episodes. But today, joining me, the first ever female guest to hop on Cam's Corner, way back when Cam's Corner first started, a Johnston Rhode Island native, just like myself. Joining me for the second time, Merrimack guard, Jayme DeCesare. Jayme, thank you for hopping on. Like we just said before we started, December 15th, 2021 was the last time we talked. A lot has happened, obviously, during that time. So first and foremost, thank you for hopping back on, and how have you been?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited. It's been a long time coming, and I watch all your videos, and you just keep doing amazing things. So I'm lucky to be here, and I'm thankful that you asked me.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. And last time we talked too, it was closer to things getting back to normal, like after COVID. You were granted another year of eligibility to play during that time. Was that something you thought about, or was it kind of like, yeah, I'm definitely going to take another year playing ball. Like I'm going to take this. I'm not going to take it for granted kind of thing.
Yeah, it was definitely a no-brainer that I was going to take that extra year. Basketball has been a big part of my life, and having another year to continue in playing was something that I knew I definitely wanted to do, because like now we have 3 games left, and basketball for me is like going to be over soon. So that decision was a no-brainer, and I knew like from the start, like I wanted to play basketball, continue as long as I could. But on the other end, I'm also going to be getting a master's, and with the master's education, like it can go very far in what I want to do after basketball. So that was just like a no-brainer, in my opinion.
What's your major? What do you study?
So I got my bachelor's in business administration with concentrations in accounting and sports management. And now I'm getting my master's in management. But I've come to the conclusion that I think I want to go in the sports route. So I'm trying to, after this, I will be applying for like sport jobs in college athletics. So that's the route I want to take after basketball.
On like the business side and everything?
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe
Okay.
working with the team, like as a director of basketball operations, or some behind the scenes work, like operation stuff. So we'll see when, the time comes, but just
For sure.
focus on finishing school and finishing basketball, and then I'll worry about that.
For sure. Yeah. The season's almost over. I mean, you guys got like final stretch right now. I mean, each year for you, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, and we'll get into all the stats and accolades and everything like that. But do you feel, as the years went on, like I said, we haven't talked since 2021. So do you feel like any different, or have you felt any different on the court as far as like the pace of your game? More so than not, because every year, like I said, those numbers increase. So what have you seen change since the last time we spoke?
Yeah, I would definitely say like from last time we spoke, I've definitely become into more of a pass first point guard. That was something that was asked of me by my coaching staff. So I just took on that role. And then something else was being a leader. I just felt as though I needed to step into a leadership role in the past 2 years. So that was something that has translated from on the court, as well as also like taking care of off the court stuff translates to on the court. So I just go out there every game and just try and be me. But I would definitely say those were the 2 big like keys that I tried to improve on since we last spoke.
Does it feel any different, or is it just kind of feeling more and more natural as years go on? Obviously, playing since you were a little kid, but since that last time, like anything different besides like the role that you play?
Yeah, no, nothing has changed, honestly, for me. I know when I need to get my teammates involved. I need to know when it's my turn to step up. And I just think like growing and learning like the college basketball now for 5 years, like it's just obviously the first year as a freshman, the pace, everything like all that is different. But I mean, now being in year 5, I think nothing has really changed. And I just go out there and just, try to be me, try to do all the little things. Like it's not necessarily about scoring all the time. But I just try to do like take charges, rebounds, assists. So that's all I try to worry about. And just at the end of the day, I'll just do anything to get the win.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Merrimack does it. I'm sure they do it kind of similar because, I mean, obviously I've covered some URI women's games, and there's like post-game media availability, so the coach will talk, and if they win, the players will talk as well. Have you felt like more comfortable in front of the media as far as like interviews and things like that since your sophomore year?
Yeah, so we're not a school that really does that unless like we have a game on ESPN or recently a couple weeks ago, sports communication class at Merrimack actually came to the game and did interviews after, which was pretty cool. But I would say, yes, I've definitely grown and with my like media, and it's just like in the beginning, you have those butterflies, you're nervous, but I think that's one thing that I've took a big step in is I feel more confident speaking to people after, and it's just like a big way to like you know take that extra step and grow up and mature. So I would say I definitely grew in that area.
Playing back at LaSalle, does any of those kind of those memories when, like ESPN will cover your games and like they'll come and interview you, does that kind of like give you flashbacks of playing back at LaSalle?
Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah, I was just what 15, 16 year old when I was probably first interviewed at LaSalle, and that was very nerve-wracking, I remember. But I think that has set me up for where I am now. And it's just helped me gain confidence and definitely has like prepared me and had those some of the answers like in the questions that they're gonna ask you. So, just being prepared with their answers and just, you know, I don't know, it's helped a lot and just like have that maturity and, you know, just growth.
For sure, yeah, and like obviously like with the Division One school in Merrimack, and I know you said you guys don't do it as much, but usually like they'll prep you before you go out there. Like, they'll say like what you're gonna hear and
Yeah.
things like that. So I'm sure that's obviously helped. Like you said, you've seen the growth from sophomore year, but most recent accolade, like we were talking about, your 1,000 point game. Again, that probably brings back flashbacks from high school, scoring 1,000 points there as well. But you said you're more so now like a pass first point guard, but you're averaging double digits each year. Like I said, those stats go up.
Mhm.
That game you had 16 points. It was a tough loss, but you're the 24th player in Merrimack history to not 1,000 points. So obviously you knew you were close. Obviously wasn't sure if it was going to happen that game, but
Yeah.
just by seeing the stat line, I mean, just run me through the adrenaline heading into it and then post game too.
Yeah, so I didn't know I was close until you get to the game before, and people around
Mm.
you are like coming up to you saying all this stuff, and I just try not to worry about that. At the end of the day, I just try to just go out there, play my game, see what happens. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Like, there's plenty of time of games left where you can get it. So I just try not to worry about that. But when I did hit it, it was just like the greatest feeling because my family was courtside, just looking over and seeing how proud they were. It felt very good. And, like having them there, they've been supporting me for my whole life and through my basketball career. So it was just an amazing feeling.
Yeah, and the write up after that says DeCesare's name is firmly ingrained in the program's history, and there is more to come for the Johnston Rhode Island native. So, what does that mean to you to know that you're one of the greatest players to ever put on a Merrimack jersey?
Yeah, I mean, that means everything. When I came to Merrimack, my goals when I left was I want to leave a legacy and I want to leave this place better than I found it. And that's what I've been trying to do. I hope that I am doing that and just continuing to write my name in the record books is something, it doesn't really stick right now with me, but
Mm.
I know that at the end of 10 years down the road and when I'm talking to my children about sports, like I know that they can look in the record book and see like my name, and that's just something that I know that it won't hit so hard right now, but I know down the road it definitely will. So it's just something that I'll never forget.
Yeah, and top six in assists too. Again, the first player in
Mhm.
Merrimack history to reach 1,000 points since the transfer from Division II up to Division I. Almost top 10 in scoring too. So, yeah, I mean, you're used to those accolades. You've had them in high school. All that stuff is kind of you always had those eyes on you since a young age. But you've never carried yourself as like a selfish player or a selfish person. But like my question to that is, having all those eyes on you at such a young age, and being able to bring that same level of play, if not even better, to Merrimack. How have you shaped your mindset over the years, like on and off the court, to be as consistent as you've been?
I just try and just be me. That's how I say it. It's like, and I think another thing of that we talked about in the past, like having that mentality of like when I step on that floor, like no one can stop me. Like I'm the best player on this floor. Like just having that positive talk and that mentality of like be you and just do what you know how to do and do what you've been doing since you were such a young kid. That's just helped me be that consistent player, and it's helped me like show up when I need to show up. And it's just like having that in the back of my mind to just keep going. And also recently, like with this past year, it's like what's also in the back of my mind is like, you have 3 games left, leave your mark, do like everything you can to make these the best 3 games of your college career. So that's just where my head's at right now. And I just try, and just go out there and do everything I can to win, because at the end of the day, like that winning feeling is something that you want to continue. And that's just what I try to do every time I step on the floor.
Do you typically show emotion, like happy or frustrated at times, or is it kind of just like you said, that mentality kind of, acting like you've been there before type of thing?
Yeah. I would say, it depends on the game, like where we're at, but sometimes you got to enjoy the little moments. So I try to celebrate sometimes with my teammates, of course. Like, I know I'm not that type of person to get into it with the other team, but just having those little moments with my teammates, like it's something that is nice and gets everybody involved and gets them hyped up. So it depends what I do. I'll get involved, but sometimes I just try to stay to myself and just remember, like, you've done this before, like it's nothing new.
It's more so like hype plays, not like trash talk. I don't see you as a trash talker.
I don't trash talk. Just hype my teammates up.
Yeah, for sure. And going off that topic again, like we were talking about the 1,000 points, talking about your family a lot, the crowd erupts. The first person you go up to, I think, if I'm not wrong, is your sister. You hand her the 1,000 point ball. I think I saw the video.
Mhm.
From what I've seen, again, they've been your number one supporters, like you just talked about. They continue to show out. They've been at almost every game that's in Merrimack. I mean, well, from what I've seen, I mean, just talk about them. Talk about how they've been such a support staff since day one for you.
Yeah, I don't think I would be where I am today, all the accolades, everything that I've accomplished in my years of playing basketball without them. Like, they're always there for me no matter what. And which is also why I wanted to pick a school that was close, because having them at games is just the greatest feeling. That gives you that extra motivation to make them proud and just make them happy at the end of the day. So I'm very thankful for them. And I know that without them, like, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah, kind of similar to that too, your sophomore year. I don't think we talked about it that much, but there was a coaching change from your freshman to sophomore year.
Yeah.
Kelly Maroney, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Kelly Marone.
Yeah. So she was named your head coach that year. She's led your team since that point. How much of an impact has she had on your game and the progress you've been able to make since your sophomore year?
Yeah, it's definitely hard with the coaching change and, someone who comes in that didn't necessarily recruit you. But I think, she was a point guard. She understands like my position. So definitely having a coach that was a point guard is definitely very helpful. And like the main thing she's helped me is just grow up and mature and be that leader and be that senior point guard. I think that's how I've entered this new role as a pass first point guard, like doing more of the little things instead of just relying on scoring. Because, in high school and middle school, like I was the scorer, like I was that main scorer. So just coming in and like working with her, she's definitely helped me expand my game into more than just scoring and also being a leader.
Yeah. Has there been like a time where you can think of that she's kind of helped you fought through like adversity, like on and off the court or in practice or something like that, where she's kind of helped you guide and get through that?
Yeah, so it's been a tough, challenging years. Obviously, when she got here with COVID, and it was just a lot of off the court things that were affecting us on the court. So, she's definitely helped me weave through hard situations with teammates or challenging games when I'm not having a good game. But honestly, recently, this past game, when we played St. Francis, PA, I had, I think, 0 points and at halftime. And she just came up to me and she's like, just be you, attack the rim, do what you know how to do. And then I go out there and I score 18 points. So it's like she always like has my back in those situations and knows when it's time, like, let me help this girl. And she's just always been there for me, which has also been very helpful. So, just having that support from her every day is something that is very useful and valuable for me.
Who else has been somebody that's kind of filled that spot as well? Someone that's been able to, be with you throughout the past. I mean, we talked about it a little bit in the last episode, I think, but someone that's been able to be kind of like a mentor that's been in your ear to always guide you through whatever you're going through.
Yeah, I would have to say, honestly, my parents, like, there's always those hard days coming home from practice and stuff. And, as a captain And as a point guard, a lot of stuff falls on you. So having that, it's a hard role to be in, but I'm lucky to be in it. But at the end of the day, like I know that whenever I'm struggling or need someone to talk to or they just I need a vent, like they're always there for me. And that's something that's definitely helped me throughout this year and especially this year. Like they're always been there for me. And my dad is just, he's hard on me, but I know it's out of love and I know he sees what I can do and he just wants the best for me. So, he's constantly, we joke about it all the time, but I wake up some mornings to 7 text messages of videos of just basketball, like learning basics, like form shooting, but he's just always there to help me and pick me up like when I am down and also like cheer me on when I do have a good game. So they're definitely my support system.
Yeah, you've had a great support staff like we talked about. Again, different teammates throughout the years, but just talk about them as well. Like, I'm sure they'll be watching. I hope they're watching. Talk about the few players that you've been able to share the court with the majority of the ride with Merrimack.
Yeah, so I came in here and I met Diamond, who's also a guard, and Kaylee Thomas, who's also a guard, and we've came to Merrimack together, which also brings me back to why I wanted to continue and take my 5th year at Merrimack. Like I wanted to finish what we started together and I came in with these people. I want to leave with them as well. So they're 2 people that I know like always have my back, and they're some of the best teammates I've ever had playing basketball. So just having them on the court, like we literally know each other left and right. I know exactly where they're going to be in moments, and they always have my back through everything. So just having them by my side and throughout this 5 years is something that has been amazing and is a big reason why we all decided to come back to Merrimack, because we wouldn't want to play anywhere else with anybody else.
Do you have any like memorable moments with them that kind of defines your friendship, one, and then again, like you guys as teammates on the court?
I would say last year we were playing Sacred Heart and all 3 of us had like double doubles, and it was just like the best feeling because like coach comes in afterwards and she was like, they just could not stop you 3. And it's like we just like look at that and we're like, wow, like as seniors, like we came in here together, like we're finishing this together. Like that was a big game for us. Like Sacred Heart was a top team last year. So just having that game, that was like, it was just a moment that like we shared together, and it was like a great feeling, and knowing that like we did this work in the beginning and it has set us up for where we are now. So that's just one game that I'll never forget.
Yeah, how well does that help you gel on the court? I mean, obviously people talk about chemistry all the time, but being as close as you were with them, how much did that help you guys like progress and get better?
Yeah, it helps us so much. We always honestly talk about it all the time. Like we know exactly where each other is going to be. Like if someone fills, they're coming, they're driving, they're going to fill behind. Like it's so easy to play with them because we just have been playing together for the past 5 years. So we literally know each other in and out, and it's just helped us, and it's translated now that, and we're in our grad year. It's really cool to watch. And it's just, it gives you that feeling of comfort, knowing that you have somebody who's going to have your back, who knows exactly where you're going to be in situations. So it's just been great.
Yeah, you have kind of like that sixth sense, like always know where they are on the court, something like that.
Mhm.
So they're not here with you this year, or they are? They're gonna graduate
Oh,
with
they
you.
are. They are.
Okay, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask like if it was any different, but they're still with you, so that's
Yeah.
awesome, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that's gonna
Yeah.
help throughout the end of the season
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And I saw you got mic'd up past I think it was
Oh, long
2 years
time.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago. So was that something that you brought up, or was that something they wanted to do with you?
No, so that
Merrimack
was
Media.
something Merrimack wanted to do, and I guess they asked coach to pick one person. So I guess I
And she
was
picked you?
yeah, which that was fun. That was, God, that was so long ago, but yeah, it
I
was a
know.
fun experience, and just having my teammates involved and just trying to be myself on the mic, like just
Yeah.
not. It was cool.
Did you try to act any different, or was it kind of like you knew you had a
No,
mic on? Like,
yeah, no, that's what I didn't want it to be. Like I
yeah.
don't. You act differently. So no, I just try to be myself, and that's literally who I am. Some people don't know me as that other person who's like funny, giggly, but
Mm.
there's 2 sides, and it was a fun experience.
Yeah, like I kind of like related it to me. I tried to relate it to me, like when I do like if I'm doing vlogs or like in-person stuff. I'm just not used to just talking to a camera or like having like some kind of mic on me. So not that I act different, but I'm trying to act a little more funny or a little, more
Yeah.
out of the box and to
Mhm.
create like entertainment. But I feel like you
Yeah.
always have that like that spark and that personality since high school, and that was kind of like the first time you were able to showcase that with Merrimack, which
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I had a
Um,
lot of people come up to me after that and were like, I didn't know you were that funny. And I was like, yeah, see,
did you have that like throughout? Was that like for a game or was that like in
that was
practice?
a war game. Yeah.
Did you have it on throughout the game or no?
No, that just after the warm-ups, that was it.
Nice, and that's never happened after that. That was the
That was
one
one
time
time,
thing.
and they've never done it since. So
Really? All
yeah.
right. Well, you gotta go out with a bang. That was the best one.
Yeah.
But again, we talked about memorable moments from high school on the last podcast, and I'm sure the 1,000-point game is up there and as far as memorable moments and things like that. And again, we talked about St. Francis a little bit throughout this episode, but your career high 28 points came from last season. This season,
Yep.
3 points shy, well, with 25 in one of the games you guys played them. Is there something about playing a division rival in St. Francis that like fires you up, or anything different going into those games or anything like that?
No, it's another game for me. But like last game, 28 points on how many 3-pointers? This year, 19 points, no 3-pointers. So, I'm just trying to do and give what they take me. Like if they're gonna run me off the line, okay, I'll go to the basket. But no, it's just another game for me. And I just try to be myself, and it just happens to be St. Francis every
Yeah.
year.
I saw that. I know like some players have like, a certain mindsets when they play different teams, or if they've had like a bad game last time they played them, they want to come back and, fire back or whatever it is. But um, as far as, again, memorable moments like we talk about, a lot of the great stories that I've heard from my guests all come from like when I make them think back to like crazy things that have happened in their career. So outside your 1,000 point, what is a moment in Merrimack history that you think back that like defines your career?
Oof, it's a good question. Every time I get this question, it's probably the same answer, but last year, I think it was our last game of the regular season, and this is the first year we could make the playoffs. We couldn't go to March Madness, but we could still make NEC playoffs. And we never we got to third place my freshman year, but ever since then we were like towards the lower of the pack. But this game, it was for third place, and the place was crowded. The whole football team was there, and I just remember there was 13.5 seconds left on the clock. We're tie game, and coach had the confidence in me to have the ball in my hands at the last second. So, and it was actually another moment which was really cool is we were playing Sarah Bandoma from Johnston.
Mm-hmm.
She was on St. Francis, Brooklyn. So, we ran a screen off play, and I get the ball and I go take a left-handed layup over Sarah. And that was the game-winning bucket. So that was just a moment in my Merrimack career besides 1,000 points, everything. That was just one feeling that was like, wow, that was incredible. And that's just one game that I will never forget as well.
Yeah, for sure. You got to send me that. You got that on clip? I need that video.
Yeah, I'll send you that.
For sure. So, we kind of, again, we talked about everything from the last time we talked in the pod. I wanted to end off the podcast talking about the WNBA, in particular.
Yeah.
I know you said you wanted to do more on the business side, but was the WNBA ever a thought in your mind playing college basketball?
As that little kid, that's always your dream. But as you grow up, you realize that some things just aren't going to happen, and sometimes you have to move on from the sport that you love. So I would say, no, it's not a thought anymore. And I know overseas, sometimes people say, oh, is that a thought? But I just think my college basketball career and basketball in general it's over for me. And I just got to, enter the real world, get a real job. So yeah, that came into realization that, you have those high dreams, but sometimes you just don't want to do it anymore. Or, I just played this sport for so long that like, I'm okay with it. Yes, it's going to be over at some point. I knew that. So yeah, that's not going to happen.
I got you. It's like, what's your favorite part of basketball, like watching it wise? Is it like the WNBA? Is it the NBA? Is it college basketball? Is it women's college basketball? Like, what's your favorite to watch?
Yeah, all I watch is college basketball, men and women. I just think it's so much enjoyable. It's so competitive. So, that's just what I try and watch a lot. But I'm a big Celtics fan. I obviously watch the Celtics a lot. They're very fun to watch. So just any basketball that's on, I'll watch, but mainly college.
Yeah, I'm torn because I'm a huge Knicks fan. So seeing Joe with the Celtics, it's like,
Yeah,
but
I'm a huge Jalen Brunson fan. So
all right. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be tough though. For me, I can't even talk about it because I'll go on for days about the Knicks. But
yeah.
so if you were to work for an organization or a school, like what's your ideal place to work in business and sports?
I'm not picky. Any place that wants me and like I'll be happy going and working for. So I'm just at the point now that like I just want an opportunity, and whatever that opportunity is, I'll be happy with. But the main goal is probably NBA a team, or a high Division 1 team. So, but at this point in my life, any opportunity I'll be grateful for.
Yeah, and I'm trying to seek out openings as well because obviously I graduate in May as well, and a lot of openings for broadcasting have been in the WNBA that I've seen. So if I can start there, or if I can start, wherever it is at a high college team, I'll go wherever it is,
Yeah.
wherever my skills are applicable to. So
Yeah, I just look at it as like you always got to start at the bottom and then you work your way up. So that's just my mindset.
Yeah, and the best thing about working in media is that you're so close to like everything. Like so close to the action. You're so close to meeting these players, coaches, the training staff, whatever it is. In your career, have you ever met maybe like a player that you idolized, or like somebody that you looked up to growing up, and you get to meet this person through sports that you can remember?
It's a good question. Not that I remember, but along those lines, what sports has given me is playing at Notre Dame. Actually, yeah, you can Neil Ivy, for example. Like I was able to play against her, like play at Notre Dame, and I was a huge Notre Dame fan growing up, and having that opportunity to eventually go play there when they're ranked 5th in the nation was something that was an unforgettable experience. And just having that experience through sports, to go there, go to USC. I never thought I would go to and play at Southern California, but it's just that's what sports does, and that's what's just so great about it.
Yeah, like for me, like I met Mike Breen a few years ago. This was before I was at URI. I was still at Rick. So once I met him and was able to have a conversation with him, and Kevin Harlan as well, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do like for the rest of my life. So those moments make you go further. They help you, progress as the years go on. So
Yeah.
that's all I got for you, Jayme. I mean, everything that we've talked about was kind of up to the current point. I wish you luck in the rest of your career.
Thank you.
The last thing I want to ask, obviously the $1 million question I have to ask, is what'd you think of Camp's Corner the second time around?
It just keeps getting better and better, honestly. Like I watch all your stuff on Facebook, and it's just from where you started to where you are now, it's just completely different and completely like great. And I just, can't wait to see where you keep building and building. And I just know that Camp's Corner is gonna be one of the best podcasts in the world.
I hope so. I appreciate it, Jayme. And I'll keep tabs with you too. I'll be in contact. This will be out today, posting it later today. So people that are listening, season 3, again, episode 21, episode 89, almost to 100. So again, Jayme DeCesare, follow Jayme on all social media. Keep up with her for the rest of the season with Merrimack. And we'll see you guys in the next episode of Camp's Corner.
On a break.